Well, that was a disaster. Welcome, my name is Rosh, and I'm the founder of SpyTomorrow.com, where we strive to know the open of tomorrow's market today. And in early April, I launched the Blue algorithm. I've been working on it for many months, and then I started tinkering with it live, and didn't go so well. But fortunately, we still had the purple algorithm working just fine, and that continued throughout this debacle. The blue algorithm, well, I kept tinkering with it, but the good news is I developed better tools and more supportive tools along the way, and I really like how it all turned out. So this is the current member dashboard, which is continuously being updated, and we've been making a lot of adjustments since the new year, specifically since April, in terms of expanding and improving our various tools. And currently on the main dashboard, we have three indicators: the big blue, the blue plus, and blue R. And the blue R is the front page algorithm, in other words, the one that is free for everybody on the front page. So currently that is neutral. However, over here, blue plus, which has been neutral, is now showing a solid down. And this one may be the official. That's even why I have official here. This may be the official one in the future. And so I can see that things are kind of leaning down. Big blue is slightly down, but that's still kind of, well, definitely in the neutral area. 0.25 plus and minus is neutral, just for the record. Now, down here we have the pressure gauge. And the pressure gauge has been really helpful for me, and we have a number of other gauges too. But the pressure gauge, when it's above 30, quite often we're getting solid down pressure. As of late, it's been in the teens the last few days, and so there wasn't a lot of pressure. We didn't have huge moves, and so we can also use it as a volatility measure too. But when it's high, usually above 30, so I thought, well, it's close, and we have a pretty good movement here. I'm going to lean down. But what are some other things we can look at? So moving back up, we can go to the purple algorithm and see what the purple algorithm says. It is one of our longest running algorithms and is still available, but I have a feeling we'll be fading out maybe through the summer. It depends. And then we have the blue plus dashboard. So here you can see we have the same number as on the members page, but also we have a 85% confidence number. So I think that was another good hint that I think I want to go down. Now there's some other numbers over here under the current V pressure. Let's take a look. Gap risk is extreme. The roll off here is 67, and that can indicate some serious movement. And so I think we have a chance at a good move, and let's see what we get the next morning. So here we are at the open, and yeah, we're down. And the thing is, we generally use the first half hour as our gauge. So let's say we said up, and I think the purple algorithm had a light up, not very strong at all. It could very well go into the positive by 10 o'clock Eastern time, and then that would technically mean that the purple was also right. I didn't put a lot of weight on the purple one just because it wasn't a strong indication. The number was around neutral, and the confidence number was in the 50s. So yes, it could happen, but ultimately the blue, which has been pretty strong, which has been very strong, quite honestly, was correct. And, I put a stop in place. Sometimes you can set a time frame. There are a number of ways to exit. Right now, I've just been putting a stop underneath if there's a good gap. If there's not a good gap, I'll put a time frame and say, hey, let's just get out at, say, 10:30 or 11 automatically and not let the emotions take over on the day trading side. Although our focus is overnight swing trading, I do like to offer some daytime pressure reading tools. And some of those honestly need a little bit more work, at least the new ones as part of the Blue series. But I do have some great pressure indicators that are really helping us out, like the general pressure indicator and the GEX pressure indicator, which is excellent to give us an idea of which way the option market is going. These pressure indicators are really helping us understand what's going to happen overnight too. For example, the general pressure indicator, when it's below 30, tends to be a much more bullish signal. However, when it's around 30, it's kind of mixed, and when it's above 30, certainly bearish. And it continues to perform very well over and over again. These tools help to guide us as to how aggressive we might want to be with our overnight swing trade. So here's another example. Last night, Thursday, we had a down signal after 4 o'clock for the general public for today, Friday. And if you want to see the archive, you can always go to the Blue Official Archive, which will show you the history of the Blue algorithm once it was launched. Now, do note that we did update it along the way, so the algorithms back here, especially the ones with these larger numbers, are not the same algorithm exactly as the ones with the smaller numbers. As you can see, yesterday we had down, and it started off down for the first 15 minutes, and then it started going up. I happened to trade IWM, which was down a lot more, and earned about a 25% profit. Today, we have a bigger down number. Now, the negative number doesn't always correlate to how much of a down it is. I do like to look at other charts. Here's the member page, and everything was down. Now, the big blue may not be as sensitive as we'd like it, so we may be adjusting this. However, once again, this 28 was near the 30, and when it's at 30, it often shows down, but not necessarily a strong down. I can look at the big blue dashboard. We again see that it had negative down, 75% probability number. And down here, we can see that the general pressure was negative for the GEX pressure. However, it was low. It was not a really strong up or down. And because of all this, although this was giving me a lot of confidence that it would be down, I thought maybe it could be a little bit flat. So ultimately, I didn't risk a lot overnight. And we did start off that way this morning, kind of above and below the neutral line, and then sinking below, and then all of a sudden we had a big move down, but that had to do more with a presidential statement about tariffs. Obviously increased the rate of downward pressure, which obviously went in our favor. These tools can help give us confidence as to what type of overnight trade do we want to make. Do we want to use leveraged ETFs? Because we know it may be an up market, but it could be a little flat, and we don't want time decay to hurt us. However, we may want to be really aggressive with a directional options trade, or maybe we feel there's going to be a good move, but we do want to protect ourselves with a SPY T trade, such as a 3-to-1 options ratio. There are many approaches to profit from the overnight gap, and having tools that give you a sense of how much of a gap there may or may not be gives you a competitive advantage. Overnight swing trading is a high risk, high reward style of trading. Just like day trading is high risk, high reward. However, we don't have all the emotional baggage. Yeah, emotion is the one thing that tends to sink traders. And with just one trade overnight, we don't have to stare at a screen all day with all those emotional ups and downs. My job at SpyTomorrow.com is to continuously improve the quality of the tools that we offer. Tools that help traders understand the best way to trade the overnight gap by buying at the end of the trading day and selling the next morning. You can see the signal for free after 4 o'clock Eastern Time on the front page of SpyTomorrow.com. Of course, for members, you can see the additional pressure signals as well as the confidence numbers to help guide you in terms of the best overnight swing trade. I'll see you in the next video.